Hey, good evening, everybody. Soji Fagade here, standing in for Chioma Okibo on the episode number 49. Oh, we're nearly 50 now. We're nearly 50 episodes. Can you believe that? That means we've done nearly one full year. Gosh, how time flies of enterprise experts ask Chioma anything. We normally do this every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. West African time, and today is no different. Unfortunately, Chioma is not here, but I'm standing in for her, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. I love joining on Tuesdays and listening, and obviously being part of this as well. At Enterprise Experts, we share nuggets for business that actually work, nuggets that you can deploy in your businesses, in your work, and even in your life, daily life. Even if you're not a business person, you can always use those nuggets as well in your work life experience. So, like I said, my name is Soji Fagade, and I'm standing in for Chioma Okibo on the 49th episode of Ask Chioma Anything. If you're joining us for the first time, like I said, this is Enterprise Experts. You can subscribe to our channel. We are on YouTube, and we are also on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter, as well as all of our other channels. You can subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button, which you'll find at the bottom right hand corner of your screen if you're watching us via YouTube. And also, if you need to know when we go live or when we have videos being uploaded, you get notified by clicking on the notification button. So yes, let's get into it. Right. Last week we did something about KPIs, like key performance indicators in your business. This week, I think there's a question. Let's just find what that question is for this week. If we just bear with me 1 second while I try and work out this question thingy. I'm not very good at this thing, see, so if you just bear with me while I try and work out where the question is. Right. So tonight's question says, "Hello, ma'am. What productivity tips would you recommend for new and budding entrepreneurs? What productivity tips would you recommend for new and budding entrepreneurs?" Now, again, one of these things where I think there's what I call universal rules, if you like, are things that will work across the board, regardless of whatever business you're in, but the key, I mean, if you think about what productivity means for starters, it means that you want to be able to produce as much as possible within the time frame that you have to run a business. So, like you all know, time is of the essence, both when they're starting and running a business. It doesn't matter what you're making, what you're doing or what you're engaged in. You have to just be sure that that time is used efficiently, whatever the stage of business that you're in. And the idea is to work as smart as possible, not harder, and that takes discipline. It takes a lot of planning. It takes, look, the times when you'd have motivation to do stuff, and other times when you just you wouldn't know where to start. But the key is to have what I call very, very good time management techniques at your disposal. And you probably heard so many people tell you about time management, what you might call things that you can do, 10 tricks to manage your time properly, to manage productivity and stress and boost productivity. Between you and I think the key for me is that ability to be able to discipline yourself and ensure that you plan stuff and do stuff as patiently as possible. Now, I'm of the old school, and I try and sort of begin by setting clear goals, if you like. And when you set clear goals for yourself, right, because you're applying for your business, you want to set a timeline, you want to set goals that sort of think that sort of point clearly as to where you're heading, right? Because when you set timelines, it keeps you on your toes, and it also gives you some sort of semblance of how long you think it's going to take. Once you set those goals, then you obviously need to prioritize which of the things that you want to stay focused on. Because once you for me, I think setting priorities for your day helps you a very, very great deal, especially when you're planning for your day. Because when you prioritize things, I think for me, I always try and prioritize things that are what I call potentially either income generating, or if I didn't do it, um, the whole thing will come grinding to a halt. So so I try to not to get involved in what I call urgent and important things all the time, because when you get to do urgent and important things all the time, I mean, the classic time quadrant thing whereby urgent and important, I mean, important but not urgent, not urgent, not important, all those four quadrants that people talk about, but I mean, for me, the key is to make sure you manage your time in such a way that you make efficient use of it. Some people use a to-do list. It's good to have a to-do list, but I think a list work for a purpose. We don't work for a list. So I think you have to sort of get at the back of your mind, in my view, to think what the objective is in the first place, where you have a to-do list. The to-do list is to achieve an objective. But I think what the to-do list helps you to do is to sort of visualize and your goals and what is most relevant, what's urgent and important for you to do. Now, I always say, as much as possible, when you're trying to focus on things that would help you to be more productive, you obviously want to avoid as many distractions as possible, because one of the ways to avoid distractions, obviously, you have to avoid TV, turn off your social media notifications, turn off your phone, especially during those times when you're most productive. Some people are most productive at night. A lot of people are more productive in the mornings. Depending on what works for you, I think you should find that balance and work out what works best for you as a business owner, and then you work to that routine. Once you have that routine set up in your work stream, I think in most cases you would be quite productive, in my view. And some people say, look, as much as possible, when you create a routine, you also you also need what you might call create a routine, because when you have a routine, like for instance, you wake up at a particular time, you might have your morning devotion, you might have your meditation, you might have your mind work that you do, you might even do exercises, or even just wake up in the morning and pray. Whatever your routine is, you have a set time, and once you follow that routine as much as possible, it helps to keep you on what I call the straight and narrow. So I mean, as much as possible, I think you want to try and do all of these things in a way that you don't you end up that you ensure that you do stuff. When you stop, you avoid delaying or deferring stuff. Of course, you delegate when you need to delegate, and things that don't give you a lot of joy, and you just delete them from your life. And some people say multitasking is good, being able to do as many things as possible in a short space of time. But I find that multitasking can actually be distracting in itself, because you end up doing so many things at the same time that you end up not achieving much. So I think focusing on one um, element at a time helps you to keep track, if you like, and avoid getting into what I call things that don't actually give you that element of productivity. Now, depending on what stage of your business you're at, some people say, oh, if you're starting out, maybe you can't do everything by yourself. Maybe you want to learn to perhaps outsource some of the sort of stuff that you do. You can't be an accountant, you can't be a lawyer, you can't be the guy who does everything. So if it's possible, as much as possible, within your resources, outsource those things that would prevent you from doing your business, i.e., your mundane stuff that you're never going to be good at. You're not going to be good at accounting for most people, except you're an accountant by profession, or you love numbers. I hate numbers. So you want to sort of maybe outsource those things that help you to um, focus more on your business, so you don't have time to get distracted. And again, whatever you do, always find time to rest, because if you don't rest, you're gonna break down, and you don't want, trust me, you don't want to break down. You want to be on top of your work. You want to be on top of your goals, and the best way to do that is to obviously keep things in focus. When you keep things in focus, it helps you to maintain that attention and the drive that you need to productivity and efficiency. So as a business owner, you want to focus on your time, you want to focus on your routines, you want to focus on those things that avoid you having distractions. You also want to focus on things that would essentially bring you revenue. So prioritize those things that will bring you revenue on a regular and consistent basis. So yeah, I think for me, that's what I would recommend for a new and budding entrepreneurs. Things that would affect your bottom line. You focus on those things and avoid distractions. Ton of things that won't help you to focus. Yeah, I hope you found this useful. And if you have, please leave your comments below. And if you have questions for us, please leave them here for us, or leave it in the comment section below. And send us a message at info@enterpriseexperts.com, or visit our website. Our website is www.enterpriseexperts.com. www.enterpriseexperts.com. I hope you found this useful, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you next week, where we have another session, a 50th session of Ask Chioma Anything. And it's been lovely being here today. My name is Soji Fagade, and I very much look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you all, and take good care.